welcome back to the third game in the second series of the day. Possibly the last one right now, as Method is looking quite devastating with a 2-0 lead over Diamond Skin. Caldor, does Diamond Skin have it within them to start bringing this series back?
Right now, I don't see it.
No?
I'm not saying that they don't. I don't know enough about them to really say, okay, they have it in them or not. But when I look at what Method is currently doing, then I think this is currently just them being outmatched.
It almost feels like Method's kind of toying with them, just kind of playing the game and running them over a little bit in terms of setting up and anchors.
I wouldn't necessarily say toying with them, but I think there's definitely a skill gap here.
Yeah.
So maybe that is just a misconception. Maybe the maps just haven't really been in their favor. The games didn't go as intended. So there's always the potential for them to come back, I feel.
Sure.
But right now, if you would ask me if they take a map here with everything that I've seen so far, I would say no.
All right.
Method looks strong. They look very coordinated. They look like they are completely on the same page. They have clear ideas heading into the games. So unless Diamond Skin just steps it up massively from game 2 to game 3, I think this will be a short series.
Well, let's find out if it'll be a short series before we get to game number 4, as game 3's Battleground has been chosen by Method. We are going to Infernal Shrines. Diamond Skin will elect to take the first pick.
Okay, first pick for Diamond Skin, and we have Infernal Shrines as well, so a map choice. It's going to be a bit rough. I feel a map that really caters towards the needs of Team Method as well is going to be tough to win for Diamond Skin. But if they think that through the first pick alone they will have an edge in the draft that allows them to get an opening that is stable enough so that they can make the difference here, I would like to see it. I would like to have more maps. I would really like this to be a series that is a bit closer, but at this point, just from the last 2 games and getting a first glimpse into the 2 teams that we have so far not seen in HGC Europe, at least in 2018, feels like Method is, as expected, one of the favorites to take one of the top 4 spots.
And for me, this looks like a Battleground that I think Arcano's going to do well on. His game 1 and game number 2 playstyle reminds me in almost very similar fashion to both Wubby and Athuro. He's definitely learning a lot of tips from their gameplay in terms of how he's double soaking the lanes and coming straight into the engages. Arcano is looking great right now, and the way that Athuro and Wubby plays the game is wonderful on Infernal Shrine. So I think Arcano is going to have a good game here too. One
of the cool things about Arcana is that he actually moved to Europe before he had a team. He said, I want to be in an HGC team. I'm going to show everyone that not only I am dedicated, I'm willing to work hard, but I'm also going to show everybody that if I do not get a spot in one of the HGC teams, I will make my way through the Open Division.
Yeah.
And when he was actually, when the entire roster changes started to happen, there was like at least 4 or 5 teams that looked at Arcana and said, okay, we can actually see working with this guy. When going through the options, it's not like he had his free pick, but teams that, for example, said, hey, we have one guy that we're currently looking at, but we also have Arcana that we could use here. Because from the get-go, he said, currently I'm playing DPS quite a bit, but I'm coming from originally a support position, so I'm happy to fill in as a support too. And any kind of other position that you want me to play, in this case the offlaner, I'm absolutely happy to put in the work in and show everybody what I can accomplish here. And he has put in the time even before that. In Hero League, for example. The second he got the opportunity, he was just grinding the entire time. Like playing without end and just immediately establishing himself all the way up at the top and showing all the pros that were playing at the same time because they had breaks. Guys, I'm here. This is what I can do. These are all the positions that I play right now. Give me a chance, and I will prove to you that I can also make this happen in any competitive setup outside of Australia, outside of ANZ. I can make that happen in Europe as well.
Just goes to show that hard work and determination can get you far, especially in this scene. If you think you got what it takes, get in Hero League. Make people notice you, just like Arcana, and you can show up and, of course, play in these games. Now, let's move into it. Infernal Shrines will be the Battleground for game number 3. Let's find out what our teams want to move into.
Yeah, and the point that you just made, there's always the question, how do I make it into the pro scene as a player? There's a lot of amateur leagues out there, heroeslaunch.gg for Europe. We have, of course, and also Chair League and Heroes Hype over in North America. But overall, even through Hero League alone, if you are consistently placing at the top and you show everyone what you can do and you talk to people and you just make some connections, that's really something where you can pull it off. We saw Xay, for example, last season for the good guys. He came straight from Hero League. We saw the same thing happening with Ross.
Zalia?
Yeah, Poik as well. Like a lot
Yeah.
of these guys made it through Hero League and just through talking to people. And of course, the personality has to fit as well, but those are important aspects for sure.
Yep, work, determination, and a friendly smile can get you a long way. That's how Caldor got this job. He smiled at people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened.
That's what I'm known for.
So friendly.
My winning smile.
That's right.
And also for being really fun.
Yours.
But that's in Europe, so that doesn't translate over to North America. But back home, I promise you, I'm a hoot now.
He's a hoot and a half. Hoot and a half. That is certainly the measurement that I am looking for in my life when people measure my jokes. Do I hoot and half you? Okay, we're good.
You woof woof me.
I woof woof you. Oh, that's a hard one. Arthas has been banned out again from Method. They do not seem to favor this character, as they have banned him out once again.
Again, Arthas is really, really strong right now. And this is the cool thing about having now two teams that we haven't seen as much yet, because they have a bit of a different take at the meta right now. We have seen for like 2 days now, we have seen, for example, Zealots twice. We have seen Team Liquid twice. We know how they think at this point. But now we're having, with Method, another team that has very high ambitions to make it into the top 3, top 4, coming in and saying like, yeah, we've seen what you guys do.
Here's our approach.
Here's our approach. We think Arthas right now is just too strong for what we try to do. When we want to go into a gray main, we don't want Arthas to be around, for example. So they have a bit of a different ban approach here. And for now, Diamond Skin or Infernal Shrines, Gul'dan, super high priority here.
Gul'dan taken away. Method, how do they answer back? Genji is not up and available. Hanzo is, Greymane is, ETC is up. Rhaegar still available as well. Method has a lot of choices on this battleground that are strong. We have yet to see Sonya between these two teams. Wondering if we might get that, especially here at the being Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, and I have to... There, for example, is exactly what we just talked about. Having Greymane in and you ban Arthas out already. So if you already feel that he's fantastic, and ban him out, and then Greymane becomes even stronger.
Yep.
But with Gul'dan being banned, with Gul'dan being taken, I just want to reiterate again that he is currently really sneaking up as a super stable pillar when it comes to the damage output. 6 games played, 5 wins, 1 loss. So he is looking very strong. Nobody really bans him out too much yet. He has seen a couple of bans, but he has only played 6 of the games so far. So overall, he's really making his way in there.
I think the only bans that we saw with him were against Tricked.
Yeah.
But that's because they have a Gul'dan god.
He has a 75% involvement rate in picks and bans. That's still pretty strong, but of course we have a couple of heroes sitting at 100 or at 80, but overall he's still one of the more involved heroes that we currently see, and there's a good reason why. If you have a win ratio way above 80%, then you're a pretty good hero.
Well, ETC, Malfurion get picked up. Have the engage now for Diamond Skin. Malfurion to keep Gul'dan nice and tapped off, so he can go ahead and continue to dive into his health bar to get more resources to bring out the damage. Malfurion being hovered as a possible immediate ban here, which a Nubrak being on the field on the left side does kind of indicate usually you're going to get that second tank coming in, so Malfurion is a safe ban to make sure that your double warrior composition can excel rather than being terrified of a Tormented Souls.
Yeah, Malthael is definitely a good ban for the map in particular, since this map really caters towards it. I love ETC and Malfurion too. We talked a lot about Malfurion in combination with any kind of lockdown. We've seen him with Muradin, for example, Stormballs into roots. We've seen the hooks. And the same can be applied to any tank that has a CC that has a lockdown. That's exactly what we're seeing here too. If you have a good power slide into roots, you can do a lot of work with that alone. And it really allows Gul'dan to shine even more. ETC himself, not only is he highly involved in the games in Europe and has a high win rate, but also he's fantastic for a main reason. He creates all that space for your backline. So it makes it very difficult for someone to jump into the backline and put the pressure onto Gul'dan in this case now.
And he punishes a Nubrak dramatically if he does a incorrect burrow charge diving into a fight. The immediate power slide afterwards allows for you to bring that damage out.
We've seen it earlier on Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah.
Exactly that dynamic that you just talked about. Team Liquid going up against Zealots. Every time Billy went in a bit too deep, Mopsio immediately punished him hard for it, and then Anubarak just got squashed.
Like a bug.
Mm-hmm.
Pick 3 and 4 coming in here for Method. Again, we're expecting a support. I am wanting a second warrior. I don't mind until they wait until that 5th pick for the second warrior. They can get that prime one, the best one for them. But a little bit more damage, a support, are usually the things you're going to try and pick up here in the 3rd and 4th pickup.
With supports right now, we're once again looking at Rhaegar and Lucio with Malfurion already taken. Personally, I mean, I'm not sure what exactly Method is heading into, but Rhaegar would be my choice with Greymane so that you have the Ancestral again. There is an argument to be made for Uther, though, that you go into the combo that Team Liquid preferred as well with the Divine Shield. And we have Rega taken. Rega has the advantage over Uther that, first of all, he's a bit better in delivering AoE heals. And also, he has the AoE damage through the Lightning Shield as well. Uther, of course, is fantastic since you can always set up the Divine Shield on Greymane. It's another panic button. And if you really want to go deep for Gul'dan, for example, not even the Horrify can stop you if you time it properly.
Well, Dehaka here again for Arcaner, and we saw what he can pull off with the Dehaka in game number 1. So we'll see if he can do that here. Infernal Shrine, this should be much easier too, being able to rotate and be on the outside of the map of where the Shrine or the Punisher Shrine pops up is always great heaven there for Dehaka, especially in the early game. If you get a 2-lane soak, you love it. You're good to go. On the other side, Diamond Skin, 4th and 5th pickup. Now, they have a couple of options here. If they want to try and master Dehaka, they could transition an ETC into a stage dive, get the Echo Pedal, and maybe grab another tank as well. But it's a little bit fearsome here with that Gul'dan.
Sonya or Leoric would be my pick on for the offlane for them in this setup that they're currently running here.
Illidan.
Leoric there, and they throw Illidan in. Which brings me back to what we talked about yesterday, that right now we have a lot of compositions, these niche compositions, where the teams are leaning more towards the triple frontline or triple melee. And that's exactly a good example for this. So we have Leoric for the solo lane, we have ETC there, and we have Illidan as well. So a way more frontline heavy setup now for Diamond Skin, which is also going to create more space for Gul'dan to work peacefully or quietly in the backline without having too much pressure on himself. Unless, of course, Dehaka is able to get that flank with a good burrow.
Is this Darkmark Illidan?
It should be, yeah.
Exciting. Haven't seen that in a while. 5th pick should be coming in for Method. Another damage dealer would be great. What is someone that stops Illidan right away? Do you want to go double backline? Would a Cassia be too awkward here?
I think you could definitely run a Cassia. As we said before, the meta leans in Europe currently towards the double frontline, double damage dealer, and then Rega. And with the damage dealers, we've seen a lot of AA auto attacks and then having one mage in there. But Cassia in this setup against Illidan would actually work. Having the blind in, I wouldn't mind that at all. But they go for Leeming for Shrimpy. So again, the more traditional setup, auto attack in the case of Greymane, and having a mage as well.
Okay, Diamond Skin has all in on this idea of triple melee, forcing a fight and allowing possibly Darkmok, I believe it's going to be Darkmok, to be Illidan and do Illidan things. Will it be enough, and will it net them their first victory in this best of 5, Caldor?
I think they have a good shot with it. I've seen a couple of cool games with Illidan, and you have the pseudo-global as well, so it alleviates some of the pressure that Dehaka puts on you in the later stages of the game. So if you head into Hunt, then you can play around that quite nicely. I think they have the tools that they can pull that off. If then, again, the execution level is on par with that, that's a different question. So far, Method just looked way, way stronger. But this could be the composition that it really allows them to start that comeback, or at least take a map of their opponent.
The one way this does get shut down, though, is if Dehaka's isolation and drag can land on the Illidan. That is pretty much lights out for the Illidan. Luckily for him, he has a lot of mobility and should be able to try and at least dodge it. But it's definitely going to be a matchup, Arcaner versus Illidan. Let's go ahead and move into it here. It's going to be game number 3. Will Method be able to achieve the 3-0 sweep, or will we have Diamond Skin attempting to mount a comeback?
Game number 3 has started, and Method has the 2-0 lead. To the left side of the map, we once again have Team Method going up against Diamond Skin here. Curson on Rega, Ethereal Angel on Anubarak, we see Nick on Greymane, Shrimpy on Li Ming, and Arcana on Dehaka.
On the right side, in the red, Diamond Skin. Robodoba coming in here playing the ETC. Rosmag will be your Gul'dan. Darkmok will be showing us that Illidan gameplay. Nalfurion played by Wolf Joe, and Nande on Leoric.
It's going to be a good one, especially since Diamond Skin is, of course, in a situation where they need to win. They can't lose this one or the series is over, and winning a map would be important. Now, again, if you're a little bit newer to HGC, map wins are important. Of course, the match win is what you originally aim for, but at the end of the season, nice! Good kill for Diamond Skin. At the end of the season, it really, most of the time, matters quite a bit how many maps you have been able to win throughout the games, because that's going to be one of the immediate criteria to jump to if the match score is tight. And we now had several situations already where it was determined by a map score who would go to an offline event or who would fall down into the Crucible. So every single map that you take matters a lot. And it's early in 2018, early in HGC Europe to already talk about that, but it's those early map losses or the early misses on taking a map that you will regret the most in the end.
Yeah, something to be aware of. I believe that happened at Dignitas last year, right? On Western Clash. So,
yep.
Things to worry about. All right, well, already Diamond Skin gets the first kill, but they have slowed down a little bit here as Method decided to play a little bit more safe, but we already saw that a thorough engage and how it can be punished by ETC. But if you do get the burrow charge into a combo like we just saw, it makes it much more difficult for ETC to turn it around. So a thorough trusting in Schwimpy to get that fight, and he does.
Yeah, I think overall Diamond Skin has the tools available in this game to take this. It's just that the superior execution of Method in Game 1 and Game 2 seems to make it a little bit difficult. But the opening for Diamond Skin was already strong. That looked really good here. And I'm personally a bit curious to see how much Schwimpy can do with this particular setup right now, since I actually expected them to go for a different backliner here. But already the pressure onto Darkmog, able to dodge out once more, and Wolf Joe is also securing the position with another route, making it really impossible for Method to move in and contest the camp.
Now, we don't normally get Illidan's in our matchups. It's a bit rare as of late. In fact, we have yet to see it this season, but we didn't get it much in 2017. Illidan at level 1 has moved into Immolation, which can be wonderful for clearing camps. And you already see that here as Darkmog has spent his time on the bottom, and now here on the right side of the Mercs, they're an evade from Method coming in as they are forcing the fight. Darkmog with the evasion is able to hold a thorough getting chunked. Robodoa on the left, lower and lower. Schwimpy getting a reset, and now Method comes in, gets 2 kills, and steals the Mercs.
And that nearly backfired. That was a good double kill for Method and an important one, but Ethereal just missed that burrow. And that was... I mean, he had all the time in the world to actually plan that out, and he missed that knock-up stun, and that nearly turned this entire fight around against them. Still worked out for them, so a good double kill, and also stealing the camp away, of course. But he has to be a bit careful, because these situations can backfire pretty hard.
I do like how they didn't get discouraged from the kill that was given to Diamond Skin at the very start. They're still showing the aggression. They're still wanting to take a fight. This seems to be an identity that Method wants to play with. They want to be in your face. And so that invade helps out on the right side. It was close, as you mentioned, but I'm glad to see it.
I can absolutely get behind it as well. I love the traps they started to set up in game number 1. I talked about that a bit. And the aggression that you just mentioned is definitely pretty fun to watch here. Now again, Arcana has been split to the bot lane, and the Haka is going to try and deliver extra experience to the team, while the rest postures around the top shrine and tries to at least slow the objective down, if not even take it later on. Darkmog's choice that you talked about with Immolation is not only great for the objective here, but it's also something that will allow him to take solo lanes later on.
Good point. Immolation, this build in general, is a very solid one for an Illidan player. Battered Assault is talked about slightly in North America occasionally. It can be one that you can pick up if you have a lot of melees that you're against, but they have a couple of ranges, and Rhaegar in this situation is going to be in the back too. Li Ming finds a pick on Gul'dan. Another kill here as Method turns up the heat.
Yeah, and they are going in right now. Mortar Punish has been taken by Diamond Skin, so at least get that. But that fight is not over. Good drag, and Wolfjaw is down. The second kill as Arcana comes in. Can easily deal with the Punisher here now. And they have taken the early level 7 talent. They have taken the lead in experience, and they are looking good.
Arcana, he's delivering on the Dahaka. Dahaka's one of those heroes that, if you miss a tongue, and you do it often, he feels like one of those heroes that just can't make an impact. But when you are landing tongues on supports or a major assassin consistently, he becomes deadly in the right hands. And Arcana is making a case for us to keep an eye on his Dahaka.
Yeah, it definitely is something where a good Dahaka is always going to have a massive impact. Zhongha played Dahaka against Rich's Illidan, and I was amazed by it, since he completely had his number and just destroyed that kid. So that was pretty crazy. Single-handedly just dismantling Rich Illidan with good drags and isolations as well. So a good Dahaka makes all the difference in the world.
And that difference is noticeable in levels. 8 3/4 to almost 8 for Diamond Skin. And this is them getting the first kill too, remember. So Method has definitely clawed their way back, even losing the first Punisher, but they don't mind as they continue to keep getting experience. Arcana on his way back home here. Gonna go underneath the tower for protection, but a mini wave's on the way. Nande and Darkmog might decide to continue diving towards it, but with a Li Ming rotating from middle lane, they have to pull away.
The question is once again, how much do you get out of the level 10? Are you perfectly timing that, or can you time that with the next objective coming up and moving through? That will of course be the ideal scenario for them. but they already show how aggressive they want to be here. They're posturing around the camps, trying to push those in as well. And especially Rosmag has already suffered at the hands of Method's aggression. With the Haka moving in from the side, getting drags, with the Nuburak making jumps for him, and Li Ming always being ready. I mean, Schwimpy is just always there to follow up with a quick combo, and that has really hurt them. But here's the 10, the immediate move forward, and Diamond Skin isn't even trying to defend. They know if they try to defend here, then we are seeing Method moving behind the fort and taking kills.
Yeah, Cocoon just completely takes away any idea of defending that. Cocoon popped out, Burrow charge forward, Li Ming Greymane, rinse and repeat. Diamond Skin waiting for the 10 as they head to the middle side. Robodoba playing safe as ETC trying to soak where he can, but also staying out of harm's way of his opponents. I like how Arcana on the top is just sitting behind this fort, only soaking passively. He doesn't have to do anything. His team is making work of the map right now. All he has to do is soak a lane and play safe.
And they didn't have vision, so he didn't know how many of them are still around here. Once that he sees them in the mid lane, he immediately moves out and pushes the wave out. But when he had no vision and they didn't quite know where they were, they just simply said, I don't have to risk anything here. If you don't show on the map, I'm not moving out. And that's the right decision to make. And it's oftentimes harder to just sit at your towers than simply moving out onto the lane and trying to find value where you might actually be picked off.
Now the hunt has been chosen, so Darkmok will be trying to match to Haka and then fly into a fight, when possible, around the shrine phase. Arcaner floating around with Nande and crew. He's actually going to go ahead and head back to the top side here. He has to with the Mercamp pushing in. Look at the trap, though. Method in the bottom right in a situation where they can try and get a pick off, hopefully.
Yeah, Arcana for the burrow. They go for Robodoba. The drag connects. Hunt comes in. Horrifies out as well. The mosh pit as Robodoba attempts to turn the fight around. But it's ETC that dies first. Illidan still in the battle here. And Li Ming just keeps the combos flying. Schwimpy with a damage output.
Schwimpy destroying in the fight. Diamond Skin had a chance there to actually win the fight, but they couldn't get on top of that Rhaegar and chase him down. That level 1 talent coming in, making it a bit harder for Illidan to continue chasing. Isolation connects on Darkmok, which means he has to back up for the moment. Probably should have sent him top. They have a Mercamp pushing in, but Method seems to win this phase pretty easily with the Punisher.
Yeah, they're going for the Punisher, and they are so far having a decent position there, but ETC makes his way back in now. And Method is not as far as you would think, and losing the top fort is definitely hurting them here. So now, once again, we have Arcana moving in. They get the knock up against Nande. March of the Black King being used. Aethero is under pressure, but Leoric falls first as Illidan is still trying to see if he can maybe drop the main tank.
And Illidan, while looking scary there, Aethero was keeping his attention. I like how Method all turned around and looked at Leoric. They knew the moment they get a Li Ming reset, Illidan has to decide to escape. And Illidan ran away from the fight, which allowed Method to finally finish that Punisher. Dehaka heads back to the top, defends, and gets 13.
Top 4 is now fallen, and Dehaka is defending the top lane, as you said. But now we have that level 13 talent. And the question is, how much is Method going to get out of this? The Punisher is moving through the bot lane. Up here, we have Nande empty swing, hitting nothing but air, but Schwimpy's the one that they focus their attention to now, as Darkmok jumps into the backline, but there's the immediate answer via Nuburak going for the Cocoon. Nande moves out barely, isolation hits again, as Gul'dan is the only one to defend the bot lane against the Punisher.
And the fort goes to Method. I'll grab it. Rosmag defending as you just mentioned. The rest of the team will join in. But things are looking a bit futile for Method. Every single team fight, or for Diamond Skin, every team fight for Method is just going around perfectly. I love how Aethero saw Illidan dive in on Li Ming on the backline, but they trusted Kirsten to provide all the healing they needed. So he turned around, worked on the Malfurion, and set up his team for kills instead of panicking and trying to save his teammate.
Yeah, the immediate Cocoon also helped, of course, because as long as he can isolate Illidan, he's usually not a lot of trouble to deal with. The problem really happens when there's the entire team moving in, but they stopped. Gul'dan wasn't there. They just stopped one with an immediate Cocoon, and then they could focus a little bit more, and that alone forced Darkmok back already. But they take another camp here. It's just really a battle of experience right now. And the good thing for Diamond Skin is that they will hit level 13, and there's very unlikely that Method is going to hit the 16 talent for the next shrine already. So there will be a fight for Diamond Skin, where they're going to fight on even power levels. And maybe they can make those kills happen. They seem to start to isolate Li Ming a little bit more as their primary target.
And now it's all about what's Illidan doing. I'm watching him and I'm watching Dehaka. Those two seem to be the key players in this matchup. They're the rooks of a chess match, constantly working on the sidelines, doing what they can to set up for that kill. And Illidan with Darkmog, with the minions about to be pushing on the bottom side from the mercenary camps, it actually slows down the push that he wanted, forcing Diamondskin to bring all their teammates down here to allow Illidan to finally keep pushing.
I mean, let's not forget that Ominous Wraith is now also part of the setup for Diamondskin, so they can really get a bit of damage reduction in that's going to help there, especially when Greymane already engaged into them.
I don't think we could ever forget with you casting. I don't think we could ever forget.
Woof, woof.
I hate you. That's going to go away soon.
That is not going to go away anytime soon.
A slight lapse for both of our teams here. Method, knowing they're not 16, doesn't want to force anything. Diamondskin at the same time doesn't want to get caught out of position. They are working together on their movement, always having the tanks in the front line, while Illidan starts some mercs in the top right. And the concave set up by Diamondskin allows for them to make sure that they get that mercenary camp, which is important. You don't want to lose both of them.
Method is actually really making this happen with the 16. They're gonna get that for the next shrine phase again. So yeah, they're looking strong here. Darkmog took the camp at the top. Illidan, of course, fantastic to get these camps here now as well. But there's the 16 talent, and Diamondskin has a 2-level disadvantage. Method splitting like they did onto the lanes and grabbing all 3 lanes of experience just propelled them towards the next talent, and it's perfectly in time with the shrines activating. Another 20 seconds, we're going to see that. If they can drop somehow onto an Uberak, that would be fantastic. Ethereal is getting the Ancestral. Oh, if he would have fallen, that would have been great. But it's actually ETC that dies. The counter there immediately. And once again, it's all about Arcana here. Going in, getting the isolation, making the kill happen. That was so important. Even with an Uberak surviving. If all the cooldowns have been chosen there and they didn't get anything out of it, it would still be important cooldowns down, which would have given Diamondskin maybe a chance to fight for the shrine. But now with this happening, I mean, there's just absolutely no way.
Arcana doesn't even agree. He doesn't pop his W, he just runs away. He realizes no one's top. Beautiful retreat. Shout out to Kirsten also beelining across the map there to make sure he could get to Anti-Hero, or to a Thorough, and make sure to keep him alive, dropping down the big Ancestor healing. And we did have actually a really solid Horrify from the Gul'dan. It just didn't pan out the way you would think it would.
Right now, what they are trying to do is get some experience so that they can defend with 16. That's the main thought. Get experience, drop a few towers, get 16 so that we can defend. They already gave up the fort at the top. Now we are already having Method preparing the wall itself, because their big goal is to get the keep. And if you get a few kills, go for core.
We'll see if they can get that keep. 16 hits for Diamondskin. Illidan's in the bottom.
I would be shocked if they can't get the keep. The question for me is really core or not.
Illidan's actually starting to think about Hearthstoning back. Wants to come in for the defense. There it is. He's back here. Poke coming out from Gul'dan. They engage on Nande. He turns around with March of the Black King, bringing out some damage. Darkmog has found a target.
Horrify, on the other hand, is not really connected as much as Rosmic wanted here. They're going in again. Punisher's helping out, and there's Arcane Sentries everywhere. Again, the Roots dropped by Curson. As they're trying to make this work. Roots actually, of course, on the side of Wolfjoy in this case, but there's already falling. No kills so far, on the other hand, for Method. And they're going to walk away from this. Decent defense by Diamondskin. I don't think there was a realistic hope to save the keep itself, but as long as they don't lose any heroes, they are not losing more than the top keep.
Given chase here, they still have the hunt if a target is found. Darkmog continue chasing in. Nande goes in with the Wraith Walk. There is the hunt. Nubrak is the target, but mostly so Illidan can get in the brunt of the fight. He goes in. Ancestral is used.
Yeah, nice pressure. Now Greymane is in trouble, and in a lot of trouble at that. Nick has no way of moving out of this one. He goes down. I think it was a bit overkill going for the Twilight Dream here as well, but I feel that was one of those better safe than sorry moments that we saw from Diamondskin there. Really committing to that, just simply because they're saying, guys, we need to do something. Once they have a bit of momentum with the pressure and the power they have here, they can take structures, and those structures are going to help them to close the experience gap.
Well, they still have a good 30 seconds before Greymane's on the field. Thorough's working on the Merc camps on the bottom, but Diamondskins, they're heading towards there already. They may have a chance here to get a pick if they're there fast enough, but we're going to have Wolfjoy play a bit safe there. He didn't want to be the first one in, and Robodoba is not there to get the power slide.
Yeah, it's another 15 seconds for Greymane. They need to take structures. Diamondskin has to be aggressive, and that was a little bit too much. Illidan down, just blown to pieces in seconds. Li Ming with way too much damage output there. And that was a bit optimistic by Illidan to go that deep without the rest of his team. And now, of course, we are once again seeing that setup here. Athera actually looking for the cocoon, but not getting it, at least not so far. But Arcana might get the drag.
I'm going to need a replay on that, because that Illidan just got blown up completely. The mirror ball combo into a Calamity is just insane damage if you connect them all there. So we'll check that out later on. The catapults on the top do get cleared up, as Diamond Skin will survive, but their slight attempt at aggression back just gets stopped completely.
I mean, Shrimpy is just a beast, and he saw that chance. It's just Darkmok went a bit too deep for that. He doesn't have a Rhaegar or an Uther with him that can drop that panic button. They needed to be aggressive, definitely, but he needed to go in with the rest of the team, and he was just jumping the gun a little bit, committing to the fountain already, and that opened up an avenue of attack that Shrimpy just didn't let pass. Looked at that and was like, okay, if you go that deep, I gotcha.
And they got him. And 20 is about to hit from Method. They're even waiting on the mercenary camps on the left side, knowing that the next Punisher is spawning to the very far south, which will allow for them to keep Dahaka in the top, with the Mercs pushing in. Arcaner does find a drag on Robodoba. Shouldn't be a kill or anything, but still the drag connects. And now they'll be able to go back, grab the mercenary camp, have pressure on the top side, middle side, and working on the Punisher. They are setting themselves up to win the game soon.
Yeah, they are in an amazing spot. The talent lead alone is great. Oh god, they're gonna get the kill, aren't they? No, not yet. There it is. Leoric is down. We have already Cocoon being dropped, and there is Shrimpy popping off again, dropping Malfurion. And Arcana with another drag connect, and that is kill number 3.
Kill number 3, kill number 4. Rosmeg goes down. Only Darkmok stands against 5 members of Method. Method already heading towards the top side, joining Catapults to go ahead and start moving towards the core. And this looks like it's a clean 3-0 from Method, and they look scary.
Yeah, they definitely do, and they are not taking any prisoners here. Method with a very, very dominant victory here. They go for the core, they go for Infernal Shrines. Win number 3 in the series, and that's a 3-0 for Method in their first appearance of HGC 2018.
Well, it's only one series so far, but I think the player that we had to look at going into this matchup is Arcaner, of course, versus Robodoba. And Arcaner looks like he's a perfect fit for this team. In fact, he's making plays that are helpful for this team. I believed in the other 4. I've seen them be successful, all right? But having Arcaner come over to Europe, it was a big question mark for me, and I think that question mark is snuffed out. It might be a bit too early to call that, but he looked great.
No, he looks fantastic, and Shrimpy also fit in very well here. They took their chances, but it really looked like, at least in this series here today, they outclassed their opponent a bit.
Yeah, they really did. As Method will get the 3-0, our second 3-0 of the weekend so far. From quickly, Team Liquid got that close one on that game number 1.
Yep.
They almost went down to a 0-1, but were able to get the comeback and get the win and go for a 3-0. So, Method, looking powerful. Definitely keep them on your radar as some of our top 4 teams. With all the teams that we've seen so far, 4 of them, how do you rank our teams right now? Team Liquid, where would you put them at?
Team Liquid is actually really interesting because they were very, very close in the series against Zealots, and that could have ended either way, especially with that small mistake that the Zealots made at the end, which arguably cost them the game. I would still stick to what I said earlier. I feel we have a top 2. We have Fnatic and Dignitas there. We're going to see them tomorrow. They have to prove themselves, of course, of those spots. And then we have 4 teams that are going to fight for the rest of those spots. And I really can't call anything there. Since Method right now looks strong, but I also believe that Diamond Skin is likely to be one of the weaker teams that we have in this particular phase right now. Zealots looked really a lot better than the results give them credit for. Then we have Seem Tricked, where it's tough for me to say, okay, is that just, did they just have a great day there?
That's the case of Trick always.
Yeah. Do they find that stability now that Maka said they will have in HGC 2018? Because if they do, I can see them as one of the massive contenders for the top 3, the top 4. So I don't think you can rank the teams just yet. I believe we have a top 2, and then we have 4 teams that are going to fight over those spots, and it's going to be an incredibly close fight there.
So far, our analysis is we want to see more matchups between our teams and see how exactly they do pair up. Tomorrow, we will get the big names coming in that you are all expecting. Fnatic and Dignitas, the new rosters that have been devastating. We did get to see them a little bit in China playing, and they looked great there. We think Fnatic has a little bit more rostering to pull together. But let's go ahead and continue to talk to Method here, as we now have a Thorough showing up. A Thorough, congratulations on your big victory today. What do you have to say for yourself, man? A good 3-0.
Yeah, I think it feels pretty good. I think we didn't play as well as we could have today, but I think yeah, we played okay.
Well, you guys took a bit of a gamble, picking up
Yeah.
Arcaner, and to me, it looks like it's paying off. Is he
hmm
delivering like he did today, always in scrims, or is this something that he just had a really brilliant day?
He's really good on the Haka,
Okay,
and he's really good on the heroes, which he's practiced a lot.
awesome,
And hopefully over this whole year, he's going to practice everything and get really good on everything.
awesome. Over to Caldor.
First of all, congratulations. You guys looked really solid
Thank you.
today. I have one question though when we're talking about the games that have been played in HGC Europe so far, and this is where would you rank our top four right now? Where do you feel you guys currently sit when you look at what the teams have done yesterday and you take your own scrim experience into account?
I think that we're probably top 3, top 4. It really depends on how we can improve going forward. Because I think right now we're like 3rd, 4th, but I think over this split we can definitely go maybe even top 2. I'm not sure yet. We'll
Okay.
see.
What would you say the biggest weakness that you guys still have, or the biggest point where you have to work on right now is with the new lineup and changing players, of course?
So the issue is more than before. We all have to take it's more of a team effort now than it was before with the old lineup. So we just need to work through our issues better, in my opinion, because what happens is before we would address the issue and then we wouldn't fix it. But now we're addressing the issue and we're slowly trying to fix it. And the quicker we can fix our issues, the quicker we can improve.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks.
you will be facing off against Fnatic next. Good luck with
Yeah.
that. How do you feel about that matchup? Do you think that you can come in there and get a win, or are you waiting for tomorrow's game so you can kind of analyze them a little bit more? What's the thoughts of a thorough?
I think that we can win. I think they're a really strong team. I think I think it could be a 5-game series, to be honest. But I think it's more on us to play well rather than play to their game. I think we have to just play our game, and we'll see.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it. Congrats on your big win today, and we will look
Thank
forward to that match for you guys against Fnatic. Before I let you go, the floor is yours for shoutouts.
Okay, shouts to my team. We've been trying super hard recently, and shoutouts to Method especially, Sko and Sasha, and all of our sponsors.
Well, there we go. Big win here for Method as they come out with their new debut sponsor and, of course, their new team, and they get a 3-0 over Diamond Skin. And they do look impressive, and I'm excited to see how they match up against what we consider to be top 2 in the league, Fnatic.
Yeah, it's going to be also interesting to see the rest of the teams, of course, making an appearance there. Method looks good. Team Liquid looks solid. We have Old Pine, I know it wasn't even intended. Then we have Tricked, also very strong. Zealots, I mean, overall, when we're just looking at the games that we've seen so far, it just makes me very happy for the next few games, the next few weeks, just like seeing how all of this shapes up. Because right now it feels like we're going to have a closer battle than ever before, which is what every single player said, what every single team said, and I think it's true.
Oh, very exciting stuff coming at you, but tomorrow we got the big ones coming at you. Starting off